What's good, people? I'm GALANACCI, the creator, a Manila-born, London-raised artist, designer, entrepreneur, and I'm the founder of GALANACCI and Pioneers of Greatness, inspiring you to realize your full potential. Just recapping this week. It's February 1st right now, but I'm just gonna look back the past couple of days, this week really. So I continued working on the tech pack for the POG denim jacket, taking a little long with it because I'm trying to make sure I annotate it properly with the correct seam type, stitch type, and everything in between. Just reading my notes. And I also started shadowing Robert Jess. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you accepting my sort of mentorship. But yeah, he's a dope fashion designer. He has his own studio out in London around Woolwich. And yeah, he just does a lot of pattern making, prototyping, sampling, has his own brand. And yeah, I did that this week. I'll talk a little bit more about it later on. And also I decided this week that I'll shift my focus on job hunting to finding investors. It's just I kind of gave myself a deadline for the job hunting, but no luck. So now I'm changing up the strategy, putting my energy elsewhere where it's more sort of beneficial. But yeah, to go more into detail with sort of the job hunting stuff. Yeah, I was job hunting, right? I was doing all the LinkedIn bloody premium, man. I was finding sort of the top companies that I wanted to sort of work for within the tech sales. So I was looking at Adobe, I was looking at Shopify, I was looking at Canva, like sort of creative type shit that sort of aligns with my background and like e-commerce, fashion, all that type of things. And I started like DMing like the people that are either the hiring manager, recruiter, or sort of like the person who I would end up working with, you know. I mean, I reached out to them. Some came back. One I ended up booking. Basically, I ended up booking a meeting with them, but I'm not sure if they would actually go through with it because I sent my availability. They haven't read the message, so we'll see. And I also sent like the Google Meet link. But yeah, this person at Shopify is like sort of the head for business development. And yeah, I just DM'd him, did my little thing. Basically, I did what I'm supposed to do if I were to get if I were to work at Shopify as a BDR or SDR. That's sort of the stuff I would be doing. Like I would be reaching out, cold emailing, and landing meetings with specific people. So I pretty much demonstrated that I could do that. But hopefully he shows up and then I'll see where that one leads to. But for now, I'm shifting the focus on because I've had some interviews, right? They didn't really go anywhere. And what I realized is like I had to sort of downplay myself and then kind of act that I want to work at their company. Like I don't want to work at anyone's company but mine, you know? Because like why if it felt like I have to hide that I'm doing the entrepreneurial stuff. And at one of them I didn't. And then obviously they thought that I wouldn't stay long term in their company. So then, okay, cool. And then the other one, they were impressed of what I was doing, whatnot, but it just didn't line up with what they were looking for. So yeah, it's just like at the end of the day, I don't even really want to have a job. Like I've sent almost 600 applications, like, and that varies, right? From super entry level, literally like retail roles, like customer service, to more kind of like I would need some training, so like tech sales, BDR, but then I also applied to architectural roles, graphic designer roles, things that are within my scope with my background experience. Nothing, man, like nothing. So then, you know what? Fuck it. I'll take that as a sign. No one, I'm basically unemployable. I've made myself unemployable because I've been so away, like far away from the corporate world or that type of shit, to the point where if you just look at my experiences, it just says, yeah, this guy's he just wants to build his brand, his business. That's if you were to read my CV, that's what you can see. And so yeah, I'm gonna transition and focus on finding investors, pitching, creating a pitch deck, having my elevator pitch, and then using the same things that I've been doing to find like corporate people to like DM about the tech sales role. I'll just use that to find investors for the brand. So people who are actively, investing in small businesses or people. I mean, if you even if I were to put all my experiences and stuff in a pitch deck, as well as like the business plan, I think it won't be hard to find an investor that would mahal that would what do you call it, that would invest 10K or 15 or 30K, along those numbers. And if I find a couple of those, then boom, I'm sorted. Like I can I can just hammer it down, and then that could also pay off some personal debt and obviously fund the production of the POG denim jacket or the mini collection that I've designed for Pioneers of Greatness. And also it can pay to make samples for Galanachi Countach, the luxury timepiece. And I can just get the ball rolling that way. Because then that way I don't even need to be like, I don't need to like act like, oh, I want to work at your company. Because I'm going to be pitching my business and why they should invest into my business and why they should invest in me as well as a person, and not just like the business that I'm building, which is Galanacci and Pioneers of Greatness. And yeah, I think just throughout my time building my business or just building this sort of personal brand, I've had many people saying, "Oh, they've been inspired of with what I've been like doing," and then that they've seen the journey and it's just like very inspiring for them. And these are people I don't even know. Like they just reach out to me on the DMs, and then they just tell me straight up like, "Yo, you're inspiring. Keep going, blah blah blah." So then that kind of just like solidified, yeah, man, I've been doing this for a while. So if I just reach out to an investor, I'm sure there'll be one where they'll be inspired with what I've been doing, and they'll be like, "Yeah, this is the guy. Like, let me invest in this guy." Cause like even for me, like ain't no one is as passionate as I am. Like literally, I took that risk of quitting architecture with no plan, no nothing, and I just said fuck it, and then started creating and getting back into my artistic roots. And then from there, just navigating my way closer and closer to this entrepreneurial path, to the point where, yeah, I realized, yeah, this is what I want to be doing. Like, there's no there's no other way. This is all I know, and there's no like shortcut around it. I just have to like get through it. And I think that's where I'm at now. Like, yeah, okay, I tried to apply to get jobs. Like, it wasn't just like sending 20 applications. It's like almost 600 applications in the course of like 3 months. And even like having friends refer me, nothing. So everything just is pushing me in a direction where it's like, yeah, you have to, this is your path. This is, you have to pave your own way. Like, you have to go through the entrepreneurial route. Like, you can't look at this guy's path and try and mimic it. You have your own, and my own is different from anyone else's. So there isn't like a blueprint that I could just like look at and be like, yeah, this is how it should look like. Mine is uniquely on its own, and I have to find out how it looks like. And right now it's searching for angel investors to fund the brand once I've set up my pitch decks. And basically, the way I'll promote or market my stuff is to reach out for those investors. So I could even do the crowdfunding and all of that stuff, but for now, I think it would be good to reach out to potential investors, meet with them, get them to be familiar with what I've been doing the last 5 years and the type of person I am. And then that all I want to do is this. Like, I literally, all I, before I go to bed, is all I think of. And then as soon as I wake up, it's all I think of. Like knowing or finding out how I can make this work and just have it moving at a pace where I'm putting out products out there for people to go and buy, and then obviously engage within this world that I'm building around the brands, and then fostering sort of a growth and like a community around it. But yeah, no, definitely yeah, man, that's one of like the challenges, because there is no blueprint. So I can't look at like a Samuel Ross. I can't look at a Virgil Abloh or a Roigi and then see how they did it, because it's, my circumstances are different, totally different compared to theirs. Well, luckily for me, I have a supportive girlfriend. She's there, sitting on her iPhone. Yeah, I can't really say what she was doing because it's a bit, it's a bit 18 plus. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, she's been supporting me, and she believes in me as much as I believe in myself, or even more. She's been the one funding like the rent, the paying all the bills and all of the stuff, the internet and shit like that, for the past, I don't know how many years now. So right now I need to lock in, man. I need to get to the bag. So yeah, and she obviously has her own dreams. Shit, man. Sorry. Literally each minute I'm like sinking into my fucking seat, and then you can barely see me. But no, yeah. Yeah, I think everything's happening for a reason, and that reason is for me to, yeah, you need to lock in and move like a business person. Like, treat this as a proper business, to the point where you're out there seeking for investors. Initially, I didn't want investors or that sort of thing, but it's been sort of quite hard to do anything with minimal funds and be able to kind of do a drop and then have that be self-sustaining. Do a drop, have that sort of sold out, and then reinvest and whatnot. I could explore doing pre-orders, crowdfunding, all of that, but I might as well. I don't. I don't lose anything with reaching out to potential investors to help me fund and run my business. But yeah, that's sort of like what I've been thinking this week. Cause yeah, man, this job hunting is long, and it just doesn't align with what internally. Like it just doesn't align. Like, fair enough, it aligns with being able to pay and fund the brand, but the just the feeling of in on inauthenticity. I don't know if that's even a word. Like me being in a job and doing that for 8 hours, it's like I feel fake just being, just even thinking about it, because I've been away from that world for so long. Like 5 years is long time. That's a long time. Okay, I've been away for 5 years, but I've been upskilling my skill set, so I haven't remained stagnant. But yeah, it's been difficult landing a job, so I was like, fuck it, no one deserves me. Then I'll focus on my own shit, and that's not even ego talk. Like if all I think of is my business, then yeah, I don't align with any companies at all. Even trying to grab a freaking customer service or retail is hard. What the hell? Like how am I getting rejected by Lidl? That's crazy. Is this thing still on? Okay, sorry, still on, still on. Like, you get me. So yeah, I think there's only my way or the highway. But yeah, I think I will just need to force the world to mold around what I want to do instead of the world molding me, you know? But that's just, yeah, that's what I've realized today. Oh, not today, this week. I just gotta do what I gotta do, man. And it's obviously even more of a risk because then now I'm not looking for a fucking job. But yeah, that's me. I'm a risk taker, man. And it's very strategic too. Like, I don't just take risks for the sake of blindly jumping in. I mean, to be fair, I was naive when I quit architecture, but sometimes that's what you need. That's what you need. Like, you need to be naive in order to believe and be delusional and optimistic about the vision so that you don't overthink the process. So you just go and do and do and do. And you'll hit roadblocks, but then yeah, that's when you have to level up and be creative and find a solution or a way around it. If you can't find a way, if you can't find a way around it, you're just gonna bulldoze through it. And that's sort of what I'm doing now. But yeah, and whilst I was job hunting this week, or the thought process was, if it's gonna take a while for me to land something, when I was still job hunting, I was like, yeah, I might as well like be mentored and upgrade my skill set in terms of my fashion business. So I reached out to Robert Jess. So shout out to you, man. I was just asking if I could have some sort of mentorship opportunity under his wing, because he has a studio in London, and obviously I live in Zone 3, so I might as well take advantage of being in London and reaching out to these fashion designers, creatives that have decades already in experience within a certain skill set that I'm not as skilled in. That's why I reached out to him, and then this week I went to his studio 2 days of this week, and I helped him with whatever he has going on. In exchange, he would just mentor me and just give me tips and advice on sewing, pattern making, and whatnot. And and it's very hands-on. So like this week, I worked on like some trousers, literally from scratch. I mean, he also has an assistant there, and she's like a fashion designer, and she's still in uni and whatnot. And she also helps out with like the projects he has. And currently, they're prototyping for a client, and I got to help sew the prototypes. So I did like a trouser, two trousers. I helped like sew the waistband, the leg, the pocket flap or zip flap, whatever you call it. And I've never done that before, so that was a dope experience. And yeah, using an industrial machine, and then all the ironing press, whatnot. But yeah, because I have experience using like a home sewing machine. I've done prototyping before. I've made samples before, but those are like very basic silhouettes. Like one was a jumper back in 2016 or 2017, and then I've also way back before 2016. I would tailor my shirt to have it more fitted or to crop it and whatnot. So that's how I learned how to sew, at least how to use the sewing machine, the very basic of it. So when I went to his studio, and I jumped in to help with prototyping and sewing, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can keep up. Like it's nothing too crazy. Even though I haven't sewn a trouser or certain sort of because I had to do like some edge stitch. I've never really edge stitched before, so I had to like quickly learn on the spot to control the machine in order to get like the stitch as close to the edge as possible. And then I also learned how to, I think, yeah, French seam, how to do a French seam. And I'm sure, yeah, these things are very like basic skills, but it's these skills that I haven't practiced as much as like my other skill set, like designing, drawing, sketching, 3D modeling, all of that stuff. So I just wanted to up the levels for that skill set whilst I was job hunting. But now that I've decided to forget job hunting and just hunt for investors, then that kind of changes everything. Well, not really. I'll still go twice a week to the studio, so at least I get to really practice my sewing. And at least, and yeah, that also helps me build a relationship within the industry. It goes hand in hand, really. It's a small industry too, so like you'll find out that everyone sort of knows each other. And why not learn from the best? And I've seen like Robert Jess's stuff on like TikTok mainly. Yeah, it started with TikTok. I don't know, maybe a year or two ago. He was always like sort of like pop it in my feed. I liked what he's doing. He done a lot of like pattern making behind the scenes, and I was like, wow, this is dope. He's making everything like from scratch, and I love that. I just have like high respect for those who are in fashion and know how to create samples and clothing from scratch. Because nowadays, with like the whole starting a streetwear brand or whatever, like that wave, people who don't even know how to design can jump on, and that sort of just saturated the whole space. So I just have respect for those who are actually about the craft and just not jumping on a wave. So yeah, and that's me too. Like I'm a purist, so I want to be able to, I want to know how to sew. I want to know how to prototype, how to create samples, how to make samples, and all that shit. So that just separates you from the competition. If the competition doesn't even have a background in fashion or doesn't have a background in design, you're already separating yourself from them. So for me, it's just about separating myself from the competition. I mean, I don't know. I don't even see no competition if what I'm building isn't even streetwear. I call it human wear. So I'm already paving my own lane, and it's not even to sound cocky. It's just like thinking it strategically. Like it's a saturated market. Let me go build my own lane. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did this week. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna continue doing that, making sure my skill set is going up fashion wise. So continuing the mentorship with Robert Jess, and I'll start focusing on doing up the pitch decks, restructuring the way I market on social media, making sure that it focuses more on pitching my business, my brand, and how I separate myself from the industry. That way I can garner as much eyes for those who are interested. And yeah, just make it easier for me to find an investor and then have them see that, yeah, this guy is about his business. Let's invest in him. Let's invest in him. There we go. But yeah, man, I'm going to wrap that up right there. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what I did this week. Apart from like the more kind of admin shit. But yeah, that's it from me. I'm out. You already know. Like, subscribe, all of that, whatever you do on YouTube. Peace.